Recently, Mexican drug cartels have started to engage in some unconventional business. They actually made use of their underground networks to smuggle eggs. Could it be that drug trafficking is no longer profitable? Well, that's not the case. Instead, it's because there are even greater profits to be made from American eggs. According to official data from the United States, not long ago, there were only around 400 cases of fentanyl smuggling at the U.S. border. However, the number of detected egg smuggling cases reached a staggering 6,000. Just imagine how many cases there might be that haven't been caught. There are surely even more. Don't you think this is ridiculous? I think it's a great irony for the United States. The most lethal kind of mockery comes from the official side. They don't think about solving the avian flu that broke out 3 years ago, and the subsequent large-scale fires. It doesn't seem that they don't want to control the situation, but rather that they want to trigger some issues. Especially after Trump came to power, the incidents of egg theft have occurred frequently. Guess what measure Trump took? I'm afraid many people couldn't have imagined it. He launched antitrust investigations. Did it work? Definitely not. Otherwise, he wouldn't be begging all over the world internationally, asking the European Union, as well as Japan and South Korea, to send eggs. He has been reduced to such a humble state. What's even more ridiculous is that, in order to cover up its embarrassment, the United States has banned supermarkets from selling eggs without a proper supply channel. Then a strange scene emerged. In some places in the United States, a person would suddenly pop up on the street and take out an egg from his bosom, saying, "Do you want an egg?" It's the real deal. Why is marijuana legalized in supermarkets, but eggs are sold on the black market? Don't ask me why. This is probably what makes the United States so fascinating. Now, what lies ahead for the United States is an egg shortage. But previously, the annual egg production in the United States was around 6.5 million tons, and it even exported eggs every year. It was actually the world's second largest egg exporter. After all, the United States is a vast country with abundant resources. Before the avian flu broke out in 2022, an egg in the United States cost about $0.15. But now, the price of an egg has increased several times. An egg now costs almost $1. It's even more expensive in California. So why doesn't the United States raise more chickens? Trump thought the same way. But the way the United States dealt with the avian flu was simple and brutal. Over 3 consecutive years, it culled approximately 150 million laying hens. Some people say that laying hens can be ready for the market in 3 to 4 months. So why can't the United States stop the price of eggs from rising? To put it simply, several leading egg manufacturers in the United States found that with fewer laying hens, their profits have actually doubled. Moreover, the top 3 egg manufacturers in the United States monopolize 60% of the eggs in the country. The top 6 enterprises almost monopolize 90% of the eggs in the United States. By now, I believe everyone can understand something. After investigating the avian flu for more than 3 years, they don't want to continue the investigation now. As soon as the laying hens reach maturity, there will be fires for no apparent reason. It's all the same old tricks and scenarios. Do you think the people in the United States don't know about this? They surely know something about the situation. But the United States is dominated by capital interests. The United States can interfere in other countries' affairs, but it can't even manage its own domestic issues. This is the style of the United States. So we see this situation. Without having to add more equipment or expand production capacity, they can obtain high profits. Why bother making a big fuss and investing more? In fact, the United States isn't really that short of eggs now. It might just have reduced its production by 10% to 20%. But why has this caused such a great panic in the United States? At this time, who wouldn't want to stockpile more eggs? If you buy a lot, then others won't be able to get any. There will always be some people who can't get eggs. This creates a situation where the supply is less than the demand, and the balance between supply and demand is broken. However, the White House can't shake those capital forces. There's nothing they can do. The Department of Agriculture has to turn to the European Union, as well as Japan and South Korea, for eggs. But they were refused. Those countries don't want to cooperate. It's not because of Trump's tariff issues. It's because their eggs are just enough for their own consumption. If they send eggs to the United States, there will be chaos in their own countries. Moreover, in hot weather, the shelf life of eggs is very short. Don't look at the huge egg shortage in the United States. It's a shortage that exists every day. The production of those countries is simply not enough to fill the gap. Then, suddenly, those in Mexico discovered a business opportunity. Now, a dozen eggs in the United States costs about $9, while in Mexico, it's only $2 a dozen. That's a profit margin of 400%, which is twice as high as that of drug trafficking. The key is that drug trafficking is very risky, and one's life could be lost at any time. How can it be as safe as smuggling eggs? At worst, if they're caught, they just abandon the eggs. So an embarrassing situation has emerged. Previously, when there was an egg shortage in the United States, it introduced a policy to protect local manufacturers. To put it bluntly, it's the monopoly of American capital. Mexico is only allowed to export 100 million eggs to the United States each year. If the export volume doesn't exceed this amount, only a 25% tariff will be imposed. But if it exceeds this amount, a tariff of 238% will be directly imposed. The United States is also afraid that the market will be disrupted. But when calculated like this, the price is basically the same as the current price of eggs in the United States, and there's no profit left. So some people in Mexico have resorted to underhanded means. In fact, this is nothing unexpected. It's all calculated by those in power in the United States. They can't do anything about other countries, but they're very skilled at scheming against their own people. Anyway, the elite class in the United States isn't short of eggs to eat. Why do they go the long way around instead of importing eggs from Canada and Mexico? They're afraid of losing face. They were the first ones to be hit by the tariffs. So they can only turn to Europe for help. Now, everyone doesn't want to sell eggs to the United States. Transporting eggs across the sea, only if they're out of their minds. Not to mention the issue of the shelf life. What if the eggs break? Can the United States afford the cost of air transportation? Free shipping is out of the question. Now, Canada and Mexico are the quickest solutions to the egg shortage problem in the United States. But Trump will definitely not take this approach for now. So on one hand, the United States is culling laying hens internally, while on the other hand, it's making a lot of money. This has provided an opportunity for those in Mexico. Drug trafficking results in life imprisonment. Smuggling eggs, at most, leads to administrative penalties. The eggs will be confiscated by the U.S. border authorities, and the person can just leave without any problem and continue smuggling later. After all, the border guards can't be on high alert all the time. I believe if you were in their shoes, you'd know which choice to make. Think about the Mexican drug cartels in the past. They've tried every method. They even used submarines. This is just child's play compared to that. Now they've even resorted to high-tech means, using drones to transport eggs. They use small-sized, low-noise drones, transporting small quantities but multiple times. It's said that they can make a profit of $1,000 in one night. Even if the drones are seized, the profit of one night can buy 2 or 3 drones. So why wouldn't they be motivated? What is de-Americanization? This is a real example. It's said that Mexican drug cartels are no longer satisfied with smuggling eggs. They've even started smuggling common daily necessities. As long as the tariff and trade barriers are high enough, the US-Mexico border can't stop such activities. So, it can be said that all the wealth in the world is being created for others by the United States. Isn't that ironic?